Bonjour, bienvenue chez Véro. Today is Wednesday in August. Temps are going up. It's going to get really hot this weekend and early next week. Brace yourselves if you're flying over to Paris or other parts of France in the next few days. I went to the market today. I'm lucky to have a great market next to my apartment twice a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays, and the rest of the time I am about 5 minutes away from the wonderful Halles de Tours, the covered food market. So I picked up a few things because I didn't want to have to go out too often over the next few days. Like I said, it's going to be pretty hot. I thought I would share with you what I got. First of all, let's see, I went to see le maraîcher. Le maraîcher is the merchant who actually grows the produce, and I always like to go to these guys because their produce is just fantastic. I did get some tomates, so I got some tomatoes, and I'm going to make a caprese salad. We have some mozzarella di bufala, and bien sûr, of course, some basilic, fragrant basil. So that's going to go into a salad very quickly. What else? I don't know where to start. I got a beautiful melon, Melon de Charentes, so fragrant, and like always, I didn't touch. I asked the gentleman. He said, pour quand? For when? When do you want to eat it? And I said, pour aujourd'hui, which means for today. And so he smelled his melons, and this cantaloupe came out on top, and I must say, he was probably right, so I'll take care of that a little later. And because I like to nibble out on my little balcony at the end of the day right now, it's nice and pleasant with a glass of wine. I did get some radishes, and you know they come in different shapes, some round ones, some longer ones. Now in France, we like to enjoy les radis in different ways. A popular way for Apéro is you clean them up, and you get a little bit of salted butter if you have it at home, and you also have some good salt, and you're going to dip very lightly, put some butter, a dab of butter and salt on each radish, and it's delicious because you have the crunch of the radish, the butter adds a really nice rich taste, and of course the salt. No need to put a lot of butter. I saw a video recently that really cracked me up. There was so much butter on those radishes, I almost felt like asking, would you like radishes with your butter? So a little does it, huh? Moderation always. I got some nectarines, des nectarines jaunes, yellow nectarines, and they're beautiful. And I asked for different levels of maturity because I didn't want to eat them all at once. So I said un mélange, a mix, un mélange, and the gentleman knows, and he gave me some ripe ones and some not so ripe ones. So these are my things from the produce section. And then I went inside. Oh, I forgot something. I thought I would make some rhubarbe, compote de rhubarbe, some rhubarbe compote. I have some excellent sugar that comes from a great place that sells spices in this area, Terre Exotique, and so I'm going to do that later. What else? Le marché des Halles, the covered market, we're very lucky, has several Meilleur Ouvrier de France, you know, the top of the French artisans, and we have an excellent volailler, so he specializes in poultry, and from him I got kebabs, chicken kebabs, and he marinates them in lemon and some of them in spices, so I got a variety for my friends and myself. And I also got some terrine de lapin, terrine de lapin. So this is going to be good for l'apéro as well. Get some crusty bread and put a little bit of that terrine on it. I think it's going to be lovely. I went to the fromager. One of our fromagers, we have several in Les Halles, is also a M.O.F or Meilleur Ouvrier de France. This time I went to France Fromage. It's one of my favorites in Les Halles, and I got an AOC cheese from this region called Sainte-Maure de Touraine, the one that has the little straw inside. So I asked for demi-sec, so it's not going to be too runny, it's going to be too dry, and it's easy to slice, for example, if you want to put it on a salad. So Sainte-Maure de Touraine. What you see here are ashes, and you do eat this with the goat cheese. They have eggs, I got some fresh eggs, and they sell delicious yogurt and desserts, and I got one of their chocolate mousses. La mousse au chocolat. Who can resist la mousse au chocolat? I know I can't. And finally, last but not least, on the market, on the carreau is always the outside, the exterior part of the market, right outside. Le carreau, which is there on Wednesdays and Saturdays, there is a lady who sells things from her garden. So today she had a lot of tomatoes, for example, and then she makes things with those plants that she grows, and she was selling lovely lavender sachets, and they're quite big and delicious, very fragrant, and she sold them €2 a piece. So I got several, and I'm going to put them in my drawers, just like, you know, women have done for generations. I think it's a lovely thing to do, and she was very happy. I picked those up, and then I noticed that she had something there, bottles lined up, a few bottles like this. And I was curious, and I said, what is this? And she said, this is something we make. This is a vin d'épine, wine of thorn. What is that? Well, I had heard about it because I took a tour a few days ago in the countryside here in the Touraine, and a gentleman who was in the group actually makes this stuff. And it's very popular in different regions in France. So it's made with a plant which is called épine noire. I think I wrote it down. It's called épine noire, black thorn. In a way, it's a bush with thorns and little fruit that looks like blueberries a little bit. So they use the plant to make this. And this is a very popular aperitif wine, which you're supposed to drink very cold. So it's going to go in the fridge. So you have this plant that you use. You also use a very good local wine, and you can make it with red, white, or rosé. She made it with rosé, so when she poured it in a little cup to taste, it has a very pretty color. Some sugar, of course, and then some eau de vie, which is brandy, and she chose prune, which is plum. So this is called a vin d'épine, and it's a very popular aperitif, however a little bit old-fashioned, and I've been looking for it, but I couldn't find it at local bars and cafes. So this is my new apéro, which my friends will sample at the end of the week when they come over with this delicious rabbit terrine and other yummy things I'm going to prepare. So voila, I thought you would enjoy seeing my market stash. I'm probably the only person in Tours walking around with Trader Joe's bags. So this is my market bag. I'm quite proud of that. Nobody can steal them, because if they did, I would recognize them immediately. What's next? Well, at the end of the week on Sunday, I'm going to go on a live tour at a beautiful town in this area for my patrons. Feel free to join us, patreon.com/francewithvero. And I will be releasing in the next few days a new tour that I filmed last Sunday at one of the most beautiful villages in France called Montsoreau in the Anjou region. So someone is editing this video for me. I want it to look really good, and I hope you enjoy it once it's released. Voila, friends, if you're coming over, welcome to France. And as for me, I'm going to wrap up now. I've got a lot of things to do, as you can tell. And later today, I'll be teaching my French for the Traveler class with a nice group. We're about halfway through the workshop right now. À bientôt!